gets over.
Okay, Ritu, if you could now tell our audiences, if you could share with us an update about the situation right now in the Eidgah Maidan in Chamrajpet. I ask you because our audiences might know, back in 1982, you'd actually seen communal violence take place there over the same Ganesha festival. Today, there were hopes that Ganesh Chaturthi would take place over there. Obviously, now we know the Supreme Court has said there's going to be a status quo. Are things relatively calm over there?
See, when we're talking about Bengaluru's Chamrajpet Eidgah Maidan, as the status quo is in the place from the court, you see there is a huge police deployment there. So the RAF and the other police personnel too are present at the site to ensure that the law and order situation is in place and no untoward incidents takes place. But of course, that's also the deployment of the police there.
Ritu, just stay with me for a second. My colleague Harish is through with us, and I believe Harish is actually with us from the Eidgah Maidan in Chamrajpet that we're actually talking about right now. Harish, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Harish, we know that yesterday the Supreme Court said that a status quo would be in place when it came to the Eidgah Maidan that you are present at right now. Is it relatively peaceful today? Because just yesterday you showed us multiple groups that had arrived in the Maidan. They were demanding that they be allowed to celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi. What is the mood there right now?
Well, there's absolute normalcy here at the Eidgah Maidan in Chamrajpet, and no groups protesting whatsoever. Many of them saying that despite the status quo order of the Supreme Court, we see it as a positive that the Supreme Court hasn't brought the argument of the Waqf board about the ownership of this land. And the fact that there is heavy police deployment has also deterred anyone from really protesting. You can see it's 9 in the morning and you already have policemen in excess of around 1,000 people who've gathered here. This includes policemen from the Bengaluru City Police. You have the Rapid Action Force and the District SWAT team as well. All of them here to ensure that peace prevails, and a message is sent out to everyone that nobody can disrupt peace and law and order in the area. This is something that the government had mentioned in the Supreme Court as well, that the law and order won't be an issue, that can't be a ground to cancel the event, and they would maintain law and order irrespective of which way the Supreme Court order goes, and that's what they have done. Remember, it's not just here, but in various parts of the city as well. You have Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations happening, so there is deployment here in Chamrajpet in terms of huge number of policemen, but other places as well. They've stepped up security to ensure that celebrations of Ganesh Chaturthi pass off without any incident.
Harish, do stay with us. I want to come back to you in just a minute. I do want to play out reactions for our audiences first. We want to show you how different political leaders across the spectrum have reacted. First, this is what Union Minister Prahlad Joshi had to say. Take a look.
I welcome this, and unnecessarily some people who do not want cordial atmosphere in the city, they have gone to unnecessarily to the court. Honorable Supreme Court, it has decided the matter way back in 2011. The final verdict has come. The High Court judgment was way back in 1991. I am very happy that Honorable High Court has taken the note of all the previous judgments of the Supreme Court and High Court, and they have given the clearance to take the decision by municipal corporation.
This has been a long pending demand. Are you confident that the Supreme Court will give a verdict in your favor today?
They are not the positive, they are always negative. They are in our nation. They must think about the future of the nation. We are the persons. First, we have to integrated coordination. We want relationship in between the persons and in between the religions. They are the sadists and they are the negative thinkers, always in the interest of nation, in the interest of the religion, in the interest of the other religion also. They are sadists. We are having here good Muslims. They are very well cooperative for we. We don't want any quarrel in between the persons, in between the religion. They are voluntary. They are coming and they are coordinated with the festival. So what is the difference between Eidgah and we are praying the God to bless our people, bless our nation, bless our country. This is our intention, not in between the quarrel.
All right, let's go back now to our reporters to understand more. Harish, I want to come back to you. For our audiences that are tuning in right now from across the country, just if we could take a step back from what the Supreme Court had to say yesterday, and if you could provide us with larger context here. I know that a number of reports pointed to the fact that in the 5 days after the Karnataka High Court order, it seemed very much as if the state government was pushing for the expansion of the use of the Eidgah land in Chamrajpet. Is that an analysis that you would agree with? And if so, what actions did we see from the side of the state government?
Well, the state government made its intent very clear by saying that it would respect the aspirations and sentiments of people of Chamrajpet who applied for permission to have Ganesh Chaturthi celebration at the Eidgah Maidan. This is something the Chief Minister stated, something that Revenue Minister R. Ashok also had stated. So they had made their intent very clear that they have absolutely no issues granting permission for Ganesh Chaturthi celebration, especially after the order of the Division Bench of Karnataka High Court. And there were meetings held multiple times, and also at least 5 applications were rejected. At the same time, they were considering at least 3 to 4 applications in a favorable manner. It's only when they learned that the Waqf Board is approaching the Supreme Court, they did not announce their decision, but more or less the state government was in very much favor of giving permission for celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi here. And remember, even in the court yesterday, looking at the kind of submissions that were made, they were in a mood to give permission. In fact, they said for the next 2 days, we can allow Ganesh Chaturthi celebration, and a day after that, it will continue to be a playground. When the Waqf Board initially said that this could trigger law and order issue, the AG was very clear to the Supreme Court that law and order can't be quoted as a ground to reject Ganesh Chaturthi celebration. They have taken ample security measures to ensure that it doesn't become a problem. So the state was all geared up. They were just waiting for a go-ahead from the court, and that's something that they did not manage to get. At the same time, the state government, remember, if you look at the arguments that happened yesterday, the state government, in a very planned or strategic manner, demolishing the grounds on which the Waqf Board was claiming rights over this land. Initially, when the Waqf Board said that they've used this for a number of years, the state government was clear to point out that that can't be a reason that a title deed or ownership of a property can be given to someone. Also pointing out that if there is nobody who claims a particular piece of land, then it belongs to the state government, and that's what has happened in this case. The Waqf Board was asked to furnish documents to prove its ownership. The Waqf Board hasn't managed to do that. It doesn't belong to the BBMP, so the Revenue Department is taking over that land. Also raising questions on whether the Waqf Board can quote the Waqf Act of 1995 to talk about transactions that might have had prior to 1950. So clearly, state government taking a very strategic move in demolishing the kind of grounds on which the Waqf Board is claiming this property. Remember, this will have far wider ramifications as well. Several properties of the Waqf Board in Karnataka do not have clear title deeds. It's held because they either have a physical possession, or they've been using it for a number of years, or that particular space has a particular religious character. And if the state government indeed manages to convince the High Court, now remember the Supreme Court has asked these parties to get back to the High Court. So if it indeed convinces the High Court that the Waqf Board doesn't have either the documents or any legal backing to claim ownership of this land, that could open up a Pandora's box for the Waqf Board as far as several other properties in the state is concerned.
Harish, if you could also give our audiences the background